The story began in a peaceful fishing village. A little girl was playing by the lake while her father prepared to fish. He walked towards the water with his net. The girl started crying because she was sad that her father was going into the water to work and leaving her alone on the shore. So the father came out of the water and sat down to play with her. He made funny faces and silly movements, which made the girl laugh and become happy again. Suddenly, the father started writhing in the water. Something beneath the surface was pulling him, dragging him to the depths. The girl kept laughing, thinking her father was still joking with her. She didn't realize he was in real danger until he completely disappeared, leaving only blood rising to the surface. The villagers believed the man had been eaten by a river demon, so they pooled their money to hire a Taoist priest to exorcise the demon. Through his rituals, the priest managed to trap a giant stingray, confidently claiming the threat had been eliminated. However, a young demon hunter named Xuanzang passed by and sensed that evil still lingered. He warned the villagers that the big fish was not the real demon and that the danger in the water was not yet over. The villagers, agitated by the boastful priest, refused to listen. Instead, they grew angry with Xuanzang, mercilessly beat him and tied him up, hanging him upside down in the village square as punishment. Believing the water was now safe, all the villagers went for a swim. But soon their celebration was interrupted. The real river demon suddenly appeared and swallowed a woman whole. The villagers panicked and scattered, thinking they would be safe if they stayed out of the water. But they were wrong. The river demon began to extend its long tongue to hunt them. The little girl tried to run to her mother, but the demon's tongue wrapped around her. The villagers pulled with all their might and finally tore the tongue, dragging the girl towards the bridge. But the next moment, the river demon leaped out of the water and swallowed her completely. Her mother went insane, desperately diving into the water to save her daughter. Meanwhile, Xuanzang was biting at the ropes, struggling to free himself. Underwater, the mother froze in terror as she came face to face with the monster. The river demon glared at her with rage as she cried and begged it to return her daughter. But, of course, the demon ignored her pleas and devoured her too. The river demon then shattered the surrounding buildings, causing the villagers to lose their footing and slide towards the river. A baby slipped towards the water, but just in time, Xuanzang broke free. He jumped onto the bridge, then onto a floating plank, catching the baby before it fell. As Xuanzang held the infant, the river demon appeared again. Using the demon's own weight, Xuanzang escaped at the last second with the baby in his arms. The demon got stuck on the plank, and Xuanzang jumped back to safety, returning the child to his mother. At the same time, the cowardly priest was hiding among the crowd. Suddenly, a huge woman panicked and ran. Her weight shook the ground like an earthquake with every step. Finally, she leaped and landed on top of the river demon, crushing it against the plank and sending it flying into the air. The demon crashed hard, right on top of the fleeing priest. Once out of the water, the river demon quickly weakened and began to die. Suddenly, it transformed back into an ordinary young man, looking harmless. Without delay, Xuanzang pulled out his trusty 300 Lullabies book, the demon's subjugation manual given to him by his master. He solemnly chanted a children's lullaby, hoping to awaken the demon's good nature. But the innocent rhyme had no effect. Instead, it enraged the demon, which roared in fury and lunged straight at Xuanzang. In the nick of time, a skilled female demon hunter intervened. This was Miss Duan, wielding her magical weapon, the infinite flying ring. With a quick strike, she trapped the river demon and sealed it inside a puppet. The villagers, saved from certain death, knelt and thanked Miss Duan, hailing her as a hero. Xuanzang set out once more to find a way to defeat the pig demon that still threatened the land. Before long, Xuanzang arrived at a remote inn in Gao village. Previously, a young couple had stopped there to eat and mysteriously disappeared. In truth, they had been killed and eaten by the innkeeper, who was secretly the pig demon in disguise. When Xuanzang entered the tavern, it seemed full of cheerful patrons, eating as usual, and a woman greeted him warmly. But Xuanzang quickly noticed that something was terribly wrong. The other customers were actually reanimated corpses of the demon's victims. In the corner lay a blood-stained 9-tined rake, the pig demon's signature weapon. At that moment, Miss Duan suddenly burst into the tavern again. Without hesitation, she annihilated the horde of zombie-like minions, reducing the demon's puppets to dust. The pig demon revealed himself in human form, a pale, bloated chef with a menacing smile. Duan and Xuanzang fought him fiercely, and Duan managed to trap the demon inside her enchanted bag. She planned to seal him in another puppet, but the pig demon proved too strong. He burst free and transformed into a gigantic boar monster, collapsing the entire inn around them. Overwhelmed by his immense strength, Xuanzang and Miss Duan were forced to flee for their lives. After barely escaping, Miss Duan was deeply impressed by Xuanzang's courage and selflessness. Although his skills were limited, he had shown unwavering bravery in confronting evil fearlessly, and this melted her heart. She quickly fell in love with him and began pursuing him with comical determination. She openly confessed her admiration and tried to get close to him whenever she could. Xuanzang, however, was horrified by the idea of romance. He only wished to spread love to all humanity and viewed romantic love as a distraction from his path to nirvana. Nervously, he would literally run away from her every time she approached. Xuanzang assured both his master and himself that he only sought to spread universal love, not romance. But his astute master sensed that Xuanzang was conflicted about Miss Duan. He pointed out that Xuanzang's words did not match his heart, and then advised him to travel to the Five-Finger Mountain. There, he could seek help from Sun Wukong, the Monkey King demon imprisoned by Buddha. The master believed that with Wukong's help, Xuanzang could finally subdue the pig demon. Following his advice, Xuanzang set out for the Five-Finger Mountain. That night, during his journey, Xuanzang was suddenly ambushed by a gang of mysterious men. To his surprise, they had also captured Miss Duan. But this turned out to be one of her wild schemes. She had orchestrated the entire attack, hoping that Xuanzang would save her and finally reciprocate her feelings. Even tied up and confronted with her theatrics, Xuanzang remained aloof and rejected her once again. Angry and hurt, Miss Duan lost her temper and imprisoned Xuanzang herself, leaving him bound while she cooled down. Suddenly, the pig demon returned, storming into their camp in a violent rage. Recognizing Miss Duan as the one who had wounded him before, he went straight for her. He brutally beat her, leaving her severely injured. At that critical moment, 3 other demon hunters appeared. They were known by their flashy nicknames: Five-Style Fist, Almighty Foot, and Important Prince. Lured by the opportunity to defeat the infamous pig demon, they briefly engaged with him and managed to scare him off, at least for the moment. Freed in the chaos, Xuanzang rushed to Miss Duan's side. He tended to her injuries with genuine concern. Seeing him so anxious, Miss Duan mistook his worry for affection. Believing he finally cared for her, she confessed her love again, hoping for a different answer. But Xuanzang, gently but firmly, refused once more, holding true to his higher calling. Heartbroken and furious, Miss Duan tore Xuanzang's treasured 300 Lullabies book to shreds before his eyes. She left him in despair, the tattered pages scattering across the ground. After this painful moment, Xuanzang continued his journey alone. Determined to find the Monkey King, he endured days of difficult travel. At last, he arrived at the Five-Finger Mountain. In a tranquil valley filled with blooming lotuses, he found a hidden cave, sealed with lotus flowers. Inside, he discovered the legendary Demon King Sun Wukong, trapped under Buddha's seal for 500 years. In the darkness, an eccentric, disheveled old man greeted him. This strange figure was none other than Sun Wukong himself, disguised in human form. Wukong cheerfully explained how he ended up there. 5 centuries ago, he had been the Monkey King who wrought havoc in heaven, and Buddha punished him by trapping him under the mountain. Now, Wukong begged Xuanzang to release him from his prison. Sensing an opportunity, Xuanzang proposed a deal. He would consider freeing Wukong, but only if the Monkey King first helped him subdue the pig demon terrorizing the land. If they succeeded, Xuanzang assured him that Buddha would surely see his sincere repentance and perhaps grant mercy. Unbeknownst to Xuanzang, Miss Duan had been secretly following him. She now entered the cave and rejoined him. She was alarmed to see Xuanzang negotiating with the dangerous Monkey King, but refused to leave and insisted on helping. Adopting the role of a cooperative ally, Wukong suggested a plan. Since the pig demon had been a lustful performer in his past life, they could use a seductive dance to lure him out. Miss Duan immediately offered herself as bait. Without hesitation, she began a mesmerizing song and dance in the moonlight, hoping to draw out the pig demon. The plan worked. Attracted by the performance, the pig demon emerged from the shadows. In that moment, Wukong dropped his act and unleashed his power. With astonishing ease, he beat the pig demon into submission in a matter of moments. Miss Duan quickly pulled out her magic bag and captured the weakened demon, sealing it in a small puppet, just like the earlier water demon. Miss Duan was euphoric. She handed both puppets, the pig demon and the water demon, to Xuanzang as gifts, giving him credit for conquering them. She then shyly slipped the gold ring from her own finger and offered it to Xuanzang, essentially proposing marriage. She even pulled out Xuanzang's lullaby book, which she had painstakingly mended after tearing it. Although she couldn't read and had randomly pasted the pages back together, it was the intention that mattered. With these heartfelt gestures, Miss Duan hoped Xuanzang would finally accept her love. He, once again, refused her love. Determined to make her stop, Xuanzang even grabbed a stone and cut off part of his own finger to remove the gold ring. This shocking act completely shattered Miss Duan. Heartbroken, she walked away crying, devastated by his rejection. As she disappeared, Xuanzang felt a pang of regret deep in his heart. All the while, Wukong had been silently observing. Wukong pretended to sympathize. He tricked Xuanzang into picking one of the lotus flowers at the cave's entrance. Unknowingly, Xuanzang removed the final seal, keeping the Monkey King imprisoned. With an evil laugh, Wukong sprang out of the cave, free after 5 centuries, and instantly restored his true form, an enraged monkey demon clad in battered golden armor. Xuanzang was horrified and cried out that even outside the cave, Wukong could never escape the reach of Buddha. Enraged at the mention of Buddha, Wukong flew into a furious rage. With a powerful blow, he sent Xuanzang flying, leaving him severely injured and coughing up blood. He then grabbed Xuanzang by the hair and ripped it out by the roots, stripping all the hair from the top of his head. In an instant, Xuanzang lay on the ground, bloody and bald, looking like a monk against his will. At that moment, the 3 rival demon hunters dramatically appeared, eager to claim the glory of defeating the Monkey King. They charged with their best techniques, but Wukong was far beyond their power. With disdainful ease, he destroyed them. With a thunderous roar, he literally exploded their bodies, utterly annihilating them. Defeating the hunters only fueled Wukong's arrogance. He was about to finish off the injured Xuanzang when, to his shock, Miss Duan suddenly returned. She threw herself in front of Xuanzang to protect him. She taunted Wukong and drew his fury onto herself. Wukong, now completely enraged, attacked her with all his might. She fought bravely but was no match for him. As Miss Duan lay dying, Xuanzang finally realized how much he loved her. Holding her in his arms, he tearfully confessed that he had loved her all along. Miss Duan smiled faintly and passed away in his embrace, fading into golden motes of light in the wind. Grief-stricken, Xuanzang clutched the mended lullaby book. Upon closer inspection, he realized the random pages now formed the Great Sutra of the Buddha's light. In that moment, enlightenment struck him. He recited the sacred sutra with pure sincerity, praying for divine aid. A blinding bolt of light split the sky. Buddha's giant palm descended and crushed Wukong into the ground, pinning him beneath it. When the dust settled, Wukong was trapped and unable to move. Xuanzang calmly approached and took Miss Duan's gold ring. He placed it on Wukong's head. The ring constricted and transformed into a golden headband. Sun Wukong was now destined to become Xuanzang's disciple. Through tragedy and loss, Xuanzang achieved enlightenment. He understood that only by experiencing pain and attachment could one truly let go and embrace a greater love for all. His master bestowed upon him the title Tang Sanzang, the ordained monk who would journey to the west. Tang Sanzang then set out on the legendary journey to the west. Accompanied by his 3 reformed demon disciples, the water demon became Xiao Wujing, the pig demon became Zhu Baji, and the humbled Monkey King remained Sun Wukong. Together, the 4 began their sacred trek toward the Western Heaven to retrieve the Buddhist scriptures.